Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome to Season 2 of our Tennis Manager 2023 Let's Play. This is episode number 8. Really excited to get started. Clarice Thurman has come a long way in 1 year. She went from the smallest tournaments to, well, okay, she's still in small tournaments, but bigger tournaments than she was in before. And with a number of juniors progressing to the women's tour, we have moved up significantly in the rankings by default to one of the best players that's out there. So can 16-year-old Thurman continue with her rate of progression? And we can see that her weakest attribute before was the physical track, and now it's not only overtaken the technical track, but it has subsequently at the end of the season overtaken the mental track as well, and it's turned her into the player that we're wanting her to become more so and more so all the time. She started out with 6s and 7s. She's now into the 9s. She's definitely getting there, but in the short term there's still a few attributes that are really lagging behind that it's time to start making some progress on. I'd been focusing on speed individually most of last season, and we brought speed up from, I don't know, 6, a 7 to an 11 now. I'm content with an 11 for a while. Her next weakest areas, balance, reflexes, I need to get those both up to double digits. I need to get that footwork up as well, and we're going to need to start bringing that stamina along a little bit this season, maybe to, a 7 or something, just so that it's not as much of an issue. It's less of an issue for the women's players than it is for the men's, as you're playing fewer sets. And then in the technical side, I'm really trying to avoid putting emphasis in that area, as I need to build up her physicals much more so. But serve accuracy at an 8 and spins at a 9. If I'm going to pick something, it's not the skill shots, not for a while yet. But I'd like to see those reach double digits, especially that serve accuracy. The double faults, giving away free points like that, I hate it. My target for now is 200 level tournaments, but we're going to open with a 300 level one that I had an invite to. Even though we are not seeded for this one, we're going to pop in a good spot, at least for the round of 32, but round of 16, potentially against the 3 seed, 10th ranked player. But we're 16th. How good are we, though? I think time will tell. It's a very different field with that whole age bracket, that whole group moving on up to World Tour and aging out of the juniors. We're also not entering with form, but nobody should be. It's the first tournament of the year. Everybody's been off for roughly a month and a half. That is going to add up to a little bit of rust, and it could go wild in these first few tournaments while you're trying to build form. So let's hope we can get some results. We do get that first one, 6-4, 7-5. But if we struggle that much in that one, I worry about that second round match. More attributes on the climb, and balance and reflexes, two of the important ones, going up to a 9. Meanwhile, 1st of January, we lose money. That roughly 20K for the month has been lost. But surprising move here, somebody, an anonymous donor, a patron for our academy, has donated 50,000. But of course we just lost 19, almost 20K earlier in the day, so it only gives us a balance of 37,000. But we need to make hay while the sun shines and spend that 37K for another infrastructure upgrade of whatever we can afford, because the other primary one we would look at, I think, is a little bit out of reach. Yeah, 48,000. So we cannot get that one. The track is useless to us. We do have this tiny one, but that tiny one would actually be a loss. That would not help us. The medical center was a weak point, but it's going to be better. What are we going to get if we were to do, say, the yoga and meditation room? You would have plus 6K. Realistically, it's not going to be that much, right? We were looking at 45%, but I think with medical staff now, we're going to be above 50%. So at worst, assuming here, of course, at worst, At worst, we're looking at 5K offset by 4K. So we're looking at an additional 1,000 a month, 25 days. I think that might be where we're leaning, but let's check if there's anything in the youth and scouting or business centers that are better options. I have found a better option. So in the business center, which we were making 51% in that area last year, so you're looking at 20.5K, split that in half, round up slightly, that'll give you the 51. So, we're looking at 10.3 offset by expenses of 8K. It's not cheap, but 11.3 over 8K is 3.3K per month. That's a lot better than the 1K improvement we would have gotten otherwise, and it uses virtually all of that money that we got. But there you go. There is a recreational pool on the way for that business center. That, once we get the 2 upgrades combined, that's going to put us at 7K better off per month than we were. So it's going to take a little bit of time, right? It's going to be February before things begin to take off that way, or even into March. We're going to be at 13K deficit monthly instead of 20K. And we already know that we take at least 3K in terms of profit from winnings. So, we're cutting that down to maybe single digits just in year 2, cutting the deficit in half, basically. That's going to make a good 120K difference for next year. Thank you, patron donor. Top 20 might be where we're at now, but top 10 is definitely not where we're at yet. Lacey comes away comfortably 1-6-2-6 in the second round here of this 300 level tournament. We do get 4 aces. We do get 18 winners, but we're minus 20 in that department. We do keep it clean. It's just the better player was certainly not Thurman. Once every few months, we need to make a senior level appearance. One, we need to improve our rank there to get to the, I think it was top 700. Also moving up the American rankings as well. But more so just to maintain picking up a few points here and there to keep our ability to compete there when we are actually ready to. Right now I have very minimal goals, mostly just that get in the top 700. That first qualifier was donuts. We win 6-0, 6-0, massive victory, 68%, huge advantage here. Great opportunity for the second qualifier as well. Let's hope we are making the tournament proper. We certainly look favorites to do so and do. 6-3, 6-2, we make tournament proper. Smaller tournament than the one we did at the end of last season. There is still one level even below this. But because of the low nature of the tournament, I figured it would be a little bit easier to make progression. And that's one of those key reasons why we're here. I really like our draw for this one. It is going to give us a chance to progress. Round of 16, I'll play live if we get there for this round of 32. Not too worried about it. There's not a lot of points on offer. We've picked up 1 already just for getting through the qualifiers. We'll get 5 more if we get through this round. We'll also see a much better pay if we manage to do that. But we don't. It's 4-6, 1-6 out in the first round. That's okay. We do pick up 1 point for having qualified. My new home for the first part of the year is 200 level junior tournaments, but following our early exit from that senior tournament last week, I put in some heavy training that could be costly for us as we're in Kyiv for this one. And let's see, we are the 1 seed. We got there for a reason, not just because of players moving on to World Tour and not being here. The other players around me, I've scored more points than them. I don't know if that makes us favorites for this one. I don't think we've won any 200 level tournaments yet. We have not. We have 6 career victories, 1 at 30 level. We haven't done 30 level since the very beginning of last year. We moved up to 60 level, won 2 out of 5 on our way to being a regular at 100 levels. We had 6 finals out of 9 appearances and won half of those finals appearances and 33% overall, which is non-dominant. not dominant at all. But like I said, getting to finals is a key, and we did so regularly. Now that players have aged out, that's why I think we're going to be okay at 200 level. But all we've done is a couple 200s. We've made one semi, and then a few 300s, never getting terribly far. In fact, only getting to the second round a couple times. So a semifinal is worth 100, which is the same as a win there. So in terms of points, it's good. Finances don't increase much from the 100 to the 200, but let's see how we do in this one, especially after I just did that heavy training. We're at 69% on the physical condition, and our shape fell off, which is weird because it took 3 wins to get into that tournament proper to where we were. And then now here we are. Actually, no, it only took 2 wins to get there, but it was still 3 matches played over a week and a half period. So a little shocking that our form fell off that much because it wasn't really a first round exit. I mean, that was our 3rd match already for the tournament. Despite the condition, despite the form, we do come away with a first round win. We'll keep an eye on that as this tournament goes on. I'm not counting my chickens as hatched right now. That I have concerns over this tournament. Round also a win at 7-5, 6-1, 6 aces, 31 winners, only 7 unforced errors out of 119 points. That's awesome. That's really good play from Thurman. Quarters is against the 5 seed, 54th ranked player. This one is going to pose a bigger threat, but we're still going to sim at this point as we continue to progress at a rapid rate through most of this season. We're not going to be playing every match here and there. It's going to come down to finals. 3 sets, but we do win 6-3, 5-7, 6-2. 53% of overall points won, an advantage in aces, -6 in winners, but the -1 in unforced errors. There really isn't much to suggest that we could have or should have come away with, other than ding, 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 our tactic coming out and doing what it needed to do. Even without the winners or the unforced errors, we came away with points. 47% in the short rallies, meaning we were very competitive, but not quite the better player. But the longer it went on, the better we got, ultimately getting 2/3 of points in long rallies and 55% in the medium rallies. A lot of the points, though, were pretty short, but we were just about even in those. Form hasn't improved. That's something that's going to kind of tick off into next week, but the physical condition is. We're up to 100%, and of course morale is very high, so we got 2 out of 3 things going for us as we enter our next round. And we're out in the semifinals. 2-6, 2-6, only 22 winners. Yikes. And we enter our first major tournament. It's not major. Junior Grand Slam. It's our first big tournament, though. And yeah. At 18, we just miss on the rankings. All of the top ranked players are here. And by just missing a seed, we find ourselves with a difficult draw. The 3 seed is our likely second round opponent. Let's make sure we at least make that second round. There is a lot of junior points on offer, and there's a decent payday coming with a couple K. I hate our chances, though, of getting out of that second round. First round was close. 2-6, 6-3, 6-4. But we are going to play that second round, and I will play that second round. Second round Junior Open. Our opponent is 17-3 on the season. For us, we're just 5-2. We're playing on the back foot here, big time. This is a junior who plays most of her days at senior level. Oof, we lucked out as that was very much on the line, but you can just see the quality. She's painting the corners with power. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult. I have a feeling we're going to lose pretty comprehensively. Now, as much as Clarice has improved in 1 year and since December, I've worked really hard. She's picked up a lot of attribute points in the last month and a half. A lot. And, you know, I've managed to, at this point anyway, have good form, have good shape, good morale. That's all good. So we've made rapid progress and managed to get her ready for this tournament. But we didn't get her ready for this opponent. There was no way she was going to be, right? We're trying to affirm our position at 200 level. But you got 200, you got 300, and then you've got, you know, kind of the key junior tournaments after that. We've got a ways to go, but we have managed to win a game here, and that's a good sign. But I think we will comfortably see us fall behind in this set at some point here. And it's 4-all. I cannot believe we have hung in this well. I mean, you can see the quality of our opponent. She's much faster and lighter on her feet than we are. She has a lot more power than we do. And she's clearly more accurate. I haven't seen skill shots from her so far, but, you know, we really haven't watched much. Mistake there has given us a chance in this one, but look how easily she comes in, and I mean, that's a difficult position on that ball, low to the ground, and she cleanly gets it over the net from a mid position towards the net and puts it, you know, down the line. Deuce. Oh. But you know what's keeping us in this thing? Exactly what I've been focusing on. The physicals. We're not a great player, but we're not necessarily trying to beat our opponent. We're trying to let their lack of legs beat them. But this opponent, she doesn't have a lack of legs. She clearly has it. And that's why our tactic is good to an extent. Our development so far is good to an extent. But this is an opponent who's just too good for us. Oof. Trailing 4-5 here. Set point. Really proud of how well Clarice is hanging in there and not feeling intimidated by the moment. I mean, we see 100 level tournaments a year ago intimidate the hell out of her. She's playing in a junior grand slam and not intimidated. Ultimately losing, but being competitive. It's a good sign. She finally breaks us when it was 3-4, and just like that is sitting on match point on the next one and takes it. We really did do a good job. Really did. Clarice stayed competitive, was close. She kept winning her serve. She could never break the opponent. Never could break her. She'd get close, but she could never break her. But we were just about winning with serve almost every game. But you lose one, and that ends up being the set. One time you get broke, and that ends up being the set. Same thing happened in this one. It was 3-4, and we would have gone level at 4-4, but it didn't happen, and we go 5-3, and then she turns around and wins her set again, 6-3. Scoreline looks worse, but we didn't have serve. We only served 4 games, and we're only broken once. So, all in all, a good performance compared to a top 3 opponent in the juniors, and we're not there. Top 10 is a little out of our reach right now. I think our rank, our 16th, 18th, is a little generous as it is, and I still feel like 200s are going to be our home for a while. I'm not sure what has happened to make the balance even more favorable. The hiring of our medical person, maybe. I'm going to check on that one to see how different it is. But our negative balance entering the month of February, we only lost 1.3K. What did I expect us to lose? 16. We're 15k better off. Well, I can already see a couple of differences. One, the recreational pool that I expected to have, 10.3k. We made 12.1, so that's already a couple k better off. In the medical center, the improvement we made, again, I was expecting a bit less than this, and it came in at 10k. Now, medical center would have been just, what is the offset? I think we improved by more than the 2.4k with that staff member. But meanwhile, in the sports center, the paddle courts brought in 7.6. That one adds up to be about right from what was expected. So the recreational pool is better. I think the hiring of our medical staff didn't just offset, but it's looking pretty good compared to what it could have or should have been. We're above our max. I don't know, but whatever the case may be here, that one's looking good. I don't know where it all adds up, folks, but whatever the case may be, it would appear on the surface that we are looking pretty decent when it comes to the balance now. Now we just took some winnings, so that minus 1,000 we also actually just got paid. So really we're looking at more like a minus 2,000. But are you kidding me? We might have a roughly neutral balance over the course of this season instead of minus 120k at the end of the year. You throw in an injection of close to $250,000 and we're definitely going to get some upgrades. So finances are doing so much better at this point. It's February. Let's push forward a little bit more. So we're getting into late February now, or at least mid-February, and I want to pick up with kind of where we left off at the end of the season. Leading up to the end of the season, we started training a lot harder. We saw some rapid gains, but we had a couple tournaments in there. So this point right here is where we started picking up our training at the end of the season. This point is the end of the season and the off-season training. This has been since we've then picked it up. We have some tournaments in there, but then we have our growth otherwise. You can see that I'm making some rapid gains in the physical department. That's been kind of my key focus area. We're getting steady increases in the mental, and technical is on the verge of overtaking the mental, even though my focus has been primarily on the physical. But I haven't changed sessions. I'm not taking away sessions and replacing them. I'm just adding in sessions while trying to not overwork our athlete. They are capable of more than the generic. We've got a lot of attributes also on the verge, about to level up. We're also about to exceed 10 for the first time for an average. That's in the physical. The balance, nearly at a 10. The reflexes is the other one that I'm trying to work up right now. Stamina, I did finally push from a 5 to a 6. That's an increase, though. That is better than what it was. I don't need it to be much, but I need it to be a little more than that. Only one mental attribute below a 10 right now. I noticed that they removed the few random ones that existed before. Now it's just focus, anticipation, positioning, tactical skills. I just picked up on that those aren't there this year. The ones that are out of your control. These are all directly trained. 200 level tournament. Now with form, let's see what we can do. We're the 1 seed. Can we progress? Can we finally get a 200 level victory? Can we finally get a 200 level finals appearance? One struggle that Clarice is facing right now is that somewhere along the way, and I think it might have been an update, a couple things reset. When it came to the game plan, the deviation play was no longer the preferred tactic. It had switched to offensive baseline play, which is not the style that I want to play. And so we had seen struggles for a while. And I think this was shortly after the string of wins that we had. Maybe, maybe not. But the deviation play is now our primary, and those 2 subsequent ones have moved to our second and third tactics. So those look good. The deviation play has not. Just this week, the deviation play now has been practiced enough to get to kind of a moderate level. And at the moment, we're seeing some struggles against some of these opponents. It took 3 sets to get through the second round, but we do get through. It is the 5 seed in the quarters, but we're still very much the favorite against Grosjean. The last round, we set a record for us. I saw it real quick there, but over 80 winners in our match. 40 in this one, 45. Again, taking 3 sets, but we do defeat Grosjean 6-2, 2-6, 6-2, 54% of points won. Into the semis, a place we've now been 3 times, having lost all 3 times that we've been here. Second time this year. Easier opponent this time, looking at a challenging final ahead of us if we make it. And we do make it, 6-3, 6-2. So we're into the finals, 200 level, very first time. We'll see what Thurman can do when we get there. Indoor for this one, and our opponent, not the 2 seed, but a very good Maya Butta, who is 13-1 on the season so far. So she does have a good track record. She is moving up the ranks very quickly, this particular junior. She's 17 though, but only 122nd in the rankings. Something has clicked at the start of this season for her though. Both players are thrilled. We're a little bit ahead in the physicals department, and we are receiving the ball here on this first one. So how do we do on our return? Leading 30-15 at the moment here in this opening game. It would be really nice to start off by breaking your opponent. Can't believe she reached that one, but clearly seeing the deviation play in action. Some of the matches I go in and properly change it, alter it, but it was the default, the quick sims, that it wasn't happening, but it is now. We do win that opening game and have service here, and this deviation play so far is really looking good against our opponent. She's not hanging with it very well once we get going. It's only taken a few hits back and forth to outwork her legs. Though she outworks us that time, it's 40-30. Not pushing to the edges right now, just a little bit, and we really never got on the front foot on that one. We never got on the attack. Not sure we were defensive either. It seemed kind of neutral on that one. But she was offensive. Ooh, mistake there. We went from a strong position now suddenly in a weak position and lose the game. Each of us have already broken the opponent once. Our opponent doesn't seem very good in the serve. That's going to give us opportunities to get on that front foot early. And I think we're going to see some more breaks as this game goes on. It's not going to be just serve winners, though. She got the serve winner. Will we get the serve winner? Get back level? Right now it's 15-30, 15-40. 30-40. And we do lose. Ouch. Only one service game has claimed victory so far, and it's about to be 2, and we trail 1-4. Are you kidding me? It looks so much better than her, and yet somehow not getting the job done. We do finally win a game with serve, and it's 2-4. You'd want to break this one to have a real legitimate shot at winning this first set, and we don't. And now at 2-5, it's must wins every single game. Looks like we're going to comfortably get the third win here, but we have to break her, obviously, otherwise it's the set. I didn't want to get backed into the corner like this one. Now we're stressed. Unforced ball in the net, and yeah. Better at the stamina department if he gets to it, but it looks like it wouldn't be until the third set that would really be a factor. Both of them are stressed now, so the disadvantage mentally As at least neutralized. She's playing the deviation play better than we are. Ooh. Lucked out there, as that was just out. That one was also just on the line. A little more out than in, but certainly enough on the line to count. But here we are trailing yet again, and we just cannot seem to get on the front foot. We do finally get on the front foot and hit it straight into the effing net and give away the game. Absolutely give away the game there.
Second service.
We can finally talk, though. We've played 6 games. Still stressed. Set point. Chance to break for the set. To draw level. Even though we've been outplayed. And we do. We do. Yes, okay. Clarice, good job coming back. See, it doesn't let you talk here. You have to ask for it. But then you can't do it here. That's silly that it won't let you talk. You should just be a given. Why would you have to? Click a special button to make that happen instead of just have that conversation. In between a set is the time. Right? She's there. You're here. It should be that simple to have that conversation. Decisive third set. And losing the game at the moment. Battling back to deuce. Now advantage. Our opponent's really good at deviation play. She's good at the tactic. We aren't great at it. But we have advantage here. That was a well-played one. On the baseline. More than the deviation. We're not supposed to be playing the baseline. I don't know how she reached that one. The ball bounced here. As she was still at mid-court. And somehow hit the ball. And then we put it in the net.
Advantage.
And now trailing. Okay, the fatigue part starting to settle in.
Juice.
She's almost below that 50% where her accuracy is going to drop.
Advantage.
But right now we just keep battling back.
Juice.
Ball into the net.
Second
Again,
service.
deuce.
Let. Second service.
The let has helped us. I don't care if it helps us. I still think that should have been a double fault.
Advantage.
I don't want the rules just to benefit me. I want it to be consistent. That one's out. Deuce. This game's going on forever. Oh, come on. Wow. We went to sleep on that one. Absolutely went to sleep. That was such an easy ball to play. And we just stood there. And watched it. There was another one. She stood there and watched that one. She moved much too late. Come on, get on the front foot. Get on the front foot. There. Whew, that game took forever, but we do ultimately win that stinking game. Still stressed. She's anxious. Both now falling below. Encourage? No reaction. Gotta be kidding me. Clarice, her mentals are low. That was out! That was so out. The edge of the ball was near the line, but the center of the ball was very well out. And that's it. We just lost. It was a finals. We finally got a finals in the 200s, and we don't need to be winning them all, but we need to start winning some 200 level finals to continue progressing. But the finances don't seem to be that bad anymore, so maybe we're okay. End of February has come. Let's see if we can get. Okay, yeah, no tournament scheduled for the next little bit. It's World Cup time. We could be seeing selection for the first time. We have a positive balance for the month of February, but we're about to tick over it in a new month. I don't want to see what happens with this World Cup just yet. I'm going to leave that on a cliffhanger and see if we gain selection. Right now, among Americans, we are absolutely in the top 5. Last I checked, we were 4th. We'll see. Is that enough to get selection? Are we going to start competing for the juniors in the qualifier? Looking forward to it. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.